What if your favorite movies aren't just stories? What if there's subtle warnings about what's waiting just around the corner? Think about it. Dystopian worlds, advanced AI, surveillance, all things that once seemed like fiction but now feel eerily familiar. Could Hollywood be preparing us for the future? This idea is called predictive programming, suggesting movies plant seeds for how we perceive future events. Decades ago, films like 2001: A Space Odyssey showed AI controlling spacecraft. Today, we have AI assistants like Siri. Coincidence or part of a larger pattern? Take dystopian films like The Matrix or Blade Runner. These explore human-machine integration, surveillance, and loss of autonomy. As technology advances, it's hard not to see parallels in today's world. Could Wall-E's ruined planet be a warning? The lines between fiction and reality are blurring. These stories might not just entertain, they could shape how we think about the future. So next time you watch a movie, ask yourself, what are they really trying to tell us? Have you ever felt like a movie or TV show eerily predicted the future? Like watching something on screen that unfolds in real life years later? What if it's not just coincidence, but intentional? This idea lies at the heart of predictive programming, a theory suggesting media doesn't just entertain, but subtly introduces ideas about future events, conditioning society to accept them when they happen. Predictive programming proposes that media serves as a societal primer, not by predicting specific events, but by familiarizing us with concepts and themes. When real-life parallels emerge, they feel less shocking because fiction has already softened the blow. The theory gained traction as researchers and conspiracy theorists identified striking parallels between fiction and reality. A popular example is The Simpsons, known for predicting events like Donald Trump's presidency, smartwatches, and even international crises. Are these merely coincidences or something more deliberate? Another example is George Orwell's 1984. Written in 1949, it envisioned a world of mass surveillance, propaganda, and thought control. Decades later, Orwell's dystopia feels more like a warning as governments and corporations collect vast personal data. In today's fast-changing world, the line between fiction and reality is blurring. Technologies like AI, drones, and virtual reality, once confined to science fiction, are now commonplace. Themes of climate change, space exploration, and human-machine integration dominate media, paralleling real-world challenges. This raises an important question. Do these stories merely reflect societal anxieties, or do they shape how we perceive and respond to emerging realities? Skeptics dismiss predictive programming as coincidence, arguing media simply reflects imagination and cultural trends. With countless narratives, some predictions are bound to materialize. Still, the undeniable influence of media on societal norms and innovation lends credibility to the theory. Consider how Star Trek inspired technologies like flip phones, or how Black Mirror sparks ethical debates about technology. Predictive programming may not always be intentional, but it invites reflection on how fiction shapes reality. Are these narratives harmless entertainment or blueprints for what's to come? Either way, they challenge us to consider how much of our future is crafted by what we consume, not just what we create. Have you ever watched a movie or TV show and thought, this feels a little too real? What if that's the point? What if media isn't just entertainment, but subtly shaping how we think about the future? Movies and TV shows wield immense power. They don't just tell stories, they create worlds, shape narratives, and influence culture. From the fashion we adopt to the technology we embrace, media has always set trends. But here's the twist. How much of this influence is organic, and how much might be intentional? Could fiction sometimes blur into reality, intentionally or otherwise? Consider some striking examples. The Simpsons is famous for its uncanny predictions, from Donald Trump's presidency, aired in 2000, to smartwatches, autocorrect, and even the Higgs boson discovery. Coincidences? Maybe, but the sheer number of these instances raises eyebrows. Then there's The Matrix, which popularized the idea of simulated reality. Today, the simulation hypothesis is debated seriously among scientists and philosophers. Did the filmmakers simply spark a conversation, or did they tap into something profound about existence? Or take Contagion, 2011, a film eerily prescient of the pandemic. Its portrayal of a novel virus, societal upheaval, and a global vaccine race mirrored real events nearly a decade later. Was this art imitating life or forecasting it? If predictive programming is real, who's behind it and why? Are these coincidences, creative minds imagining plausible futures, or deliberate attempts to shape how we perceive the world? The idea is that fiction normalizes concepts, subtly conditioning society to accept them when they materialize. Technologies, societal shifts, or major events might seem less shocking because we've seen them play out in fiction first. This leads to ethical questions. If such influence is intentional, where's the line between preparing society and manipulating it? If our perceptions of reality are shaped by stories we consume, how do we distinguish fiction from truth? It's worth considering, are uncanny parallels just coincidences? Or is there a deeper effort to blur storytelling with societal engineering? Either way, these stories invite us to ask how much of what we believe about the world is shaped by media and what it might be preparing us for next. How many times have you watched a movie and thought, this feels too close to reality? Like seeing the future play out on screen? What if that's intentional? Media subtly preparing us for what's to come, so real-life events feel less shocking. This concept, called predictive programming, suggests that movies, TV shows, and other media aren't just entertainment. They're conditioning us for societal changes. At its core, predictive programming posits that by repeatedly exposing audiences to certain ideas, media reduces resistance to them. Take alien invasion films like Independence Day or War of the Worlds. Decades of such stories have shaped our perception of extraterrestrial contact. If it were to happen, it might not feel as shocking or outlandish because we've already imagined it through fiction. Similarly, dystopian themes like AI dominance and government surveillance have become staples of Hollywood. Movies such as The Terminator and Ex Machina depict AI evolving beyond human control. Fast forward to today, and advanced AI systems are increasingly influencing our lives. Meanwhile, shows like Black Mirror and Orwell's 1984 explore surveillance and data tracking, concepts that feel more relevant as facial recognition and digital monitoring become widespread. Are these narratives just cautionary tales, or are they softening us to accept these changes? Another key example is climate change. Films like The Day After Tomorrow and Interstellar depict worlds ravaged by environmental disasters. With rising sea levels, wildfires, and extreme weather events becoming more frequent, these scenarios feel less fictional and more like a preview of our future. Are filmmakers reflecting trends or preparing us for what's ahead? Then there's Contagion, a 2011 film about a deadly virus causing a global pandemic. Its eerie accuracy, from virus origins to societal responses, became reality during 2020's pandemic. Was this predictive programming, a lucky guess, or simply drawing on scientific predictions? The bigger question is whether these patterns are deliberate. Historically, media has been used to shape public perception. During World War II, propaganda films promoted unity and morale. Today, some theorists argue Hollywood serves a similar purpose, acclimating us to rapid technological, environmental, or societal changes. For example, repeated depictions of AI or space exploration might help us accept the growing role of these developments in daily life. Skeptics argue these parallels are coincidences, creators extrapolating trends from current events. But there's no denying the power of media to shape perceptions. Predictive programming may not be deliberate in every case, but it challenges us to consider how much of our future is influenced by the stories we consume. How much of tomorrow has already been written in the films and shows we watch today? What if the future isn't just something we step into, but something we've already seen? What if the predictions in movies and TV shows aren't just coincidences, but deliberate glimpses into a carefully orchestrated tomorrow? This idea is central to predictive programming, the theory that media doesn't just entertain us, but influences how we perceive and accept future realities. Think about how often fiction aligns with real-world innovations. Is it mere coincidence? Or could Hollywood be a testing ground for ideas, slowly acclimating us to societal and technological shifts? Science fiction has a long history of predicting the future. Take Star Trek, for example. The show introduced communicators eerily similar to today's cell phones and tablet-like devices decades before they became mainstream. These aren't isolated cases. AI and space exploration have followed paths seemingly paved by sci-fi. For instance, Elon Musk, a leading innovator, has credited The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy as a key inspiration for his work in technology and interplanetary travel. Fiction in this sense acts as a seedbed for ideas that inventors and scientists later bring to life. Could this merging of creativity and innovation be part of a larger, intentional process? Supporters of predictive programming argue that media is used to normalize futuristic concepts, familiarizing audiences with potential realities before they happen. Through its massive cultural reach, Hollywood could subtly condition society to accept technological advancements, societal changes, or even political shifts. By embedding these ideas in entertainment, resistance to them might be reduced when they become reality. However, skeptics suggest a simpler explanation. Writers and creators often extrapolate trends, imagining plausible futures based on where science, technology, or society already appears to be heading. Gene Roddenberry, the creator of Star Trek, didn't invent futuristic technology in a vacuum. He mirrored emerging ideas in telecommunications and space exploration. The communicator wasn't a prophecy, but a reflection of growing interest in portable communication. This skepticism extends to many other parallels between fiction and reality. The argument is that creators aren't shaping the future, but rather envisioning it based on observable trends. The alignment between media and real-life developments, then, could simply reflect the foresight of creative minds making educated guesses. Still, the uncanny accuracy of some predictions can't be ignored. From communicators to AI, and even pandemic scenarios like in Contagion, media has often predated major societal shifts. Whether intentional or not, these stories shape public perception, influencing how we react when fiction becomes reality. So, is predictive programming real? Or is it a coincidence born of creative minds and evolving trends? The answer might lie somewhere in between. Media undeniably shapes how we think about the future, whether through deliberate suggestion or natural reflection of societal progress. As we watch these visions unfold on screen, one question remains: how much of our future has already been written, and what role do we play in bringing it to life? What if movies aren't just stories, but blueprints for the future? What if Hollywood isn't merely entertainment, but a glimpse into what's to come? This idea, called predictive programming, suggests that films, TV shows, and media don't just reflect reality, they shape it. But is this intentional or just coincidence? Over time, strange parallels between fiction and reality have emerged. The Simpsons predicted political events and global crises. The Matrix explored simulated realities years before AI and simulation theory became mainstream. Contagion eerily mirrored the 2020s pandemic's global response. These examples make us wonder, could media influence the future, not just reflect it? Predictive programming argues that by embedding futuristic concepts, like advanced tech, societal shifts, or environmental disasters, media conditions us to accept them as inevitable. Whether intentional or not, fiction often precedes reality. Could Hollywood be preparing us for what's ahead? Skeptics argue that creators simply extrapolate trends. Writers observe society and imagine plausible futures. Yet the accuracy of some predictions raises questions. Are we being subtly guided to accept changes? Or are these just educated guesses? One thing is clear: media shapes how we see the world and imagine what's possible. Whether predictive programming is real or not, it challenges us to critically examine the stories we consume. Are they mere entertainment or subtle nudges toward the future? As the line between fiction and reality blurs, we must ask, how much of our future has already been written, and how much are we shaping through the media we embrace? What do you think? Are these examples of predictive programming, or is it all just one big coincidence? Could Hollywood actually be shaping our future, or is it all just clever storytelling? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're eager to hear your perspective on this mind-bending topic. If this video sparked your curiosity, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. There's so much more to uncover, and we don't want you to miss it. Is Hollywood predicting the future, or are we just catching up to their imagination? Let's keep exploring together. Thank you for watching.